Hey guys, Bobby here from Wedding Film School, and we are back. We took 2 weeks off, I think two. I know I was traveling, and I am joined today by Jay. Jay, how you doing?
What is up, everybody? I'm like, some days I'm like, I don't want to do this. But
It's
today,
not that I don't want to do it. I'm like, I have so many things to do.
yes, that's what I mean. I wish I could only just sit on live stream with you, Bobby, all day, every day. It'd be a great time.
That's my dream.
But no, today I was like, let's go, let's do this. I was excited just to get back with the people, and I've been in.
I think sometimes a forced break can be nice, right? You just get to reset a little bit, you get re-energized, and we're back and we're here. We've got all the energy in the world to review your wedding films that you guys submit to us here at Wedding Film School.
It's not like we haven't been doing anything with Wedding Film School either. We got we just dropped that new BTS. We've been doing podcasting, some fire episodes with, and there's a lot going on over here. And so, but we're back on the live stream, I think, doing something that it's like a kind of like a, I don't want to say it's our gift to the wedding film community, because not to say that we're so great that we want to, but we
kind of,
it's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. We do it because we honestly believe that connecting with each other as artists, talking about this, will help someone. And will make a difference in their life and help them make better films, make more money, make their clients happier, all that good stuff. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So real quick recap in case you haven't been here, or it's been 2 weeks. Maybe you forgot how we do this.
Forgot we existed.
And we did change a little bit as well. So the way that we are going to work through this is we have a variety of films that are submitted to us each and every week, and we're going to work our way through a portion of those. And we are going to, depending on if you are a member of Wedding Film School, which means you pay us some amount of money, we'll get into that. But it is nice and cheap here on YouTube. You can hit that join button down below if you do want to become a member. If you are not a member, we're going to review about 2 minutes of your film. We feel like that's enough. There might be some stuff here and there we're missing, but we could definitely give you some critiques, some areas to grow on, give you some highlights and things you're doing well. If you are a member, we'll watch more of your film. We say the whole thing, but really it's about 5 minutes, just because if you're sending us a 20-minute film, we're not going to watch the whole thing. And then at the end, no matter what we're going to do, again, is we're going to go through and we're going to say things that we love about your film, things that we think are strong points for you as a filmmaker, things you did really well, things you should lean into. And then the flip side, things that we, areas we think you can grow, areas where, some little tweaks that we would have done differently, perhaps. And throughout all of this, if you guys have any questions, throw them in comments, throw them in chat. And we also want to hear from you while we review these films, watch these films. Like, what did you like? Where did you, where would you make changes? Things like that. So, are we ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
The first
we are
film?
ready to rock and roll. Who do we got first while I queue it up? Who is our first?
Up first, we have JJ from Dorkson. I might have mispronounced that. Dorkson Films. Ooh, this could be a good one. Probably. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but first elopement in Yosemite. Yeah, we're going hipster, full blown. Elopement in Yosemite.
Everyone's ideal client right here.
Did this shoot for free, so not my ideal client anymore, but I get it. For an old friend and for a portfolio piece. A lot of Yosemite was flooded, so it limited where we could go, but it made the park look sick. So sick, bro. He didn't write that. I added that. Bro.
Oh, I was hoping he actually wrote that. I was like, that.
They met in Yosemite. That's awesome. So they share a love for photographing it on film. So I wanted to incorporate that throughout the film. I felt great about my composition and colors. Wish I filmed more in 60 frames per second, less than 24. Didn't charge anything. Did a 3+ minute highlight film. So I don't know exactly where we're at.
I want to look and see what's the name of his company one? Let's see.
It's DOERKSEN. Let's
see the
Dorkson Films.
Dorkson Films. Let's see.
And again,
story-driven films for intentional couples. Hi, we are Bethany and JJ.
Brandon, you might explode if this is 8mm. Isn't that a controversial topic for you?
8mm is beautiful. We just went to a sick workshop for some 8mm, 16mm shooting. Really beautiful. Okay, cool. I don't believe this is a filmmaker who, this is not a new person, maybe new to films, but they have a pretty large amount of content on Instagram, decent following. So not a new filmmaker. So this was probably a marketing goal where they want more clients like this. So I think it's fair to say, when we look at this, do we think it's going to be effective at fetching them their ideal client? I think that's
good.
That's a good way to analyze it. So I'm ready to go whenever you are.
I'm good.
So let's do the first minute, and then maybe we'll skip a little bit.
Skip around. Man.
It's only 2 minutes, so we might as well just watch.
Oh, let's just watch the whole thing. Yeah.
We'll give it a 3, 2, 1. Are you ready?
Yep. Actually, I could be wrong about that. Anyway.
3, 2, 1.
Today, we're here to celebrate the joining of Keaton and Shelley in marriage. This sacred union is just the beginning of a lifelong commitment and partnership of mutual love and faithfulness.
So I was on a girls' trip to California. One of my friends is our friend in common, reached out to Keaton and said, we're going to be in your area in Yosemite, so if you have any recommendations, let us know. And then he said, well, I can do you one better. I'm actually going to be there at the same time as you. We all met up in Cooks Meadow, or near Cooks Meadow, I think.
We led this caravan of people to Taft Point, and definitely didn't make it to Taft Point. We actually overshot it. But we got this epic sunset that was just so pink. It was just killer. And then we parted ways for a while.
I like your ring.
I like your face.
Thanks. I like yours too.
Thanks.
This past week, I text messaged Keaton and Shelley separately, and I asked them what they love most about the other person.
Shelley, some of my favorite things about you are just how devoted you are to the relationship that we have, and we persevered through a lot of distance, and the patience that you have to put up with my goofy sense of humor. I'm just so thankful that you're willing to put up with my antics and just continue to love me, even when it costs you.
I love your welcoming spirit. You make everyone feel comfortable and feel like they're your best friend. I love that, and I love the color of your eyes, multiple different shades of green. I've said that to you before, though. I like how devoted you are to our relationship, to making it work. There's been a lot of times where I've freaked out, and then you've just been the calm voice that's like, okay, let's just take a moment and breathe, and then we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a solution to the problem.
We kept talking, and pretty soon it was like, are we gonna do this? And then I flew out to Tulsa and got stuck in Dallas for 18 hours.
And then you asked me to be your girlfriend in the Walmart parking lot.
I did. I did. But everything just started working out. And
What if he was like, no, I didn't? What are you talking
No.
about? No.
That didn't happen. No, that wasn't me.
Why would you say that on camera? All right.
Let's skip around a little, or
Yeah, well, I mean, it's almost over. We'll just go to the last little segment.
Yes.
And we did it.
It paid off.
They're married. We did it.
Husband and wife. Keaton, you may kiss your bride. It is my honor to introduce for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Keaton Baker.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves.
what?
That lady right there, fluffing the dress.
Oh.
I want to
Oh.
throw that lady in the
I'm so
lake
with
right
you.
now. Dude,
Can we as a community just
sometimes I've been with high-end planners and have high-end stylists, and I'll be like, get them out of the shot for 10 minutes. Just God's sake.
them out.
We don't need to fluff the dress every.
Also, it's just gonna
Look at that lady. She looks like
it's just gonna drag on the ground and move anyway.
it's stupid. You can't even see it, and she looks just like why is there just this random lady standing in their arm crease? Ugh, that sucks. Makes me so mad every time I see it. All right, let's talk about what we loved about that film and what we think they did well. I will start. I think the editing was excellent in this film. There's in terms of especially storytelling, pacing, some of those clever ideas of integrating the photos he was taking. I like this conceptual kind of shoot right there. I think the idea of having an interview at an elopement was very good as well. So I think a lot of the storytelling ideas and editing was really solid.
Yeah, I would agree. I really like the photos worked in, what they're talking about, and also what they're shooting. I like the idea, whether it was his or theirs, to in what I would call the romantic section, right, with just them, which is most of the day if it's an elopement in a national park, to be like, hey, you guys should, you love taking photos on film, medium format, 35 millimeter, whatever they're shooting on, let's take those cameras with us. It's part of them and their story. And so incorporating that, and then the shots they're shooting of each other, really cool. I like that as well.
Yeah. I like
it's just an interesting little, hey, how can I make a video that's unique? And then some good shots and stuff like that. I think that photo element was what I liked the most. Also, just because I think it's more unique than what we this part that we're seeing right now, than what we typically see.
Yes, and I think it was good listening as a storyteller. You're listening to the couple, right?
And that's something that there was at least a certain amount of preparation that was done and figuring out who these people are. I think he did say this is a friend of his, so that probably helped, or one of them is a friend of his. So you probably know them a little bit, but
wedding filmmaking is all about figuring out how to communicate someone's authenticity, and I think they did that.
For sure.
So
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some things we did not like. I have a bunch of major bones to pick with this one. First one is just some serious exposure, white balance.
Yep.
You can't shoot a national park and overexpose the mountains.
Yep.
In every shot. You also, if you are going to do that and you're it's light and airy, well, then you got to do it the whole time. So It was just very inconsistent. You could tell there wasn't a strategy to what he was doing. It was
do you know, so we, neither of us know this, I guess, but do you have a guess as to where this filmmaker is in their career? Because they did say this. Yeah, it says this is my first elopement in Yosemite. So I don't know. Does that mean? Yeah,
that's why I went and looked at. That's why I went and looked at their. That's why I went and looked at their stuff, because they have 4,000 followers. So this person, it could be that they were doing photography first. And maybe they've added, but they have a fair amount of videos and they look pretty solid. I mean, I don't think this is a bad filmmaker by any stretch.
No.
But I think you can't mess that up. I also think the lens choices were not correct a large portion of the time. If you're going to shoot that ceremony needed a 16 mil push in from the back of the aisle. I need to see them and the grandeur of the mountains.
Trees, yeah.
There's just a lot of storytelling visually that I think was not done well. I think the editing and the way that he composed or the way he treated the couple and all that, but she's overexposed right here.
Yep.
The actual okay, hey, they're in the mountains. This is grandeur. A lot of that stuff, and then all the portrait sessions was really close. Really tight. The best shot in the film, in my opinion, is that shot. And it's the only shot that's that way, and that's not wide enough for me.
Yeah. Well, you're not really seeing the mountains. To me, this could just be, this could be theoretically a forest in Minnesota. You can't really tell that it's mountains on the backdrop. Yeah.
I was telling you about a job I did over the weekend, and it was this crazy vertical only video for this planner, and it was all about, we were in a tent company. We made a tent video, promotion for this brand new tent. We had to think, when we're doing pre-production for that, we go, okay, we're shooting vertical. We're gonna have to crop it. We shot on a 16 mil almost the whole time.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't wide enough. And it's you got to think about that stuff when you're going to a location, what you're going to need. And I think this would be way stronger it could be way stronger, especially with how good the storytelling is.
Yeah. Jay, I'm going to point out one thing that I think might be lower on your list here, but how do you feel about those greens in this freeze?
I mean, I think the color throughout the whole film is just all over the place. I don't understand. I honestly think the whole film is oversaturated.
Yep, I would agree with that.
And I think that the average couple who wants this type of elopement would not like the grade, but that's just personal preference.
I think, yeah, again, I think that's so I guess hopping over to me, I'm going to start there since we're talking about it. Again, it is personal preference to some extent. Jay's right, and I agree with that, and I think we all know that. I don't think this color grade fits this wedding or fits this location.
No.
I mean, and I think that's my hang up with it. And then I would echo what Jay said. There's a lot of exposure issues. This is like, there are some pieces of shots that are just straight up overexposed. I agree with Jay about, like, you gotta get the mountains exposed, at least in some shots. Like, I want to see what those look like in the background. Give me some silhouettes if you have to. Like, I get if you're shooting at noon.
I know that exposure though. You could have gotten it.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, I think that darker, moodier, like, that's what fits here.
So the one thing I'm going to give them, because I think the argument could be made that they just didn't have enough equipment because they're walking and hiking and all that. So I will give them that different elopement give you less opportunities to get the perfect shot. I will give you that. So,
and you don't know, like, yeah, exactly. There's more to it. So we get that. Other things. So for me, I like the edit a lot. I like the storytelling, but there's something with, I don't know if it's the setup or the structure of the interview or the way it was incorporated or the shots we were seeing over it. I think it's a combination of everything where it just felt a little like, I don't know, like too much to me or something, like too chaotic.
I didn't love the interview, but I try to be careful about that because sometimes it's just the couple.
Yeah.
And maybe they're perfectly happy with it, but I would agree that there was an awkwardness to it that felt...
There was something off, and I can't quite put my finger on it. And then, shots, I think, more variety, some more wider stuff, some more mountains and stuff would have been nice in this scenario. I wouldn't always say that. And then I think this film is so close. Like, I think this filmmaker is like almost there to really like breaking through and doing something really, really cool. And I think this is a great experience for them. And I'm sure they learned stuff just from shooting. And I'm hoping that they learned stuff from watching our critique.
Definitely the last thing I want them to do is think I thought it sucked too, because I don't think it sucked. I think it was, I'm more critiquing it because I'm like, dang, dude, if it was like a few extra things, this could have been really special.
Well, I think just because we know like what an opportunity, I think as an industry, everybody here knows what an opportunity it is, right? Yeah. To be able to do an elopement.
Well, not just that, you're working with a couple that will do anything you want.
Yeah.
That is so rare. So rare. I had to work with this couple on Saturday, that the people at that shoot. The reason we were there is because the companies were like, we have to have a wedding film for this, but they won't hire one.
Yeah.
So we're walking with this couple and they're like, quite literally, we're like, would only let the photographer take pictures after she changed her dress on her walk to be introduced. That is how long she was willing to work with us. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's like, working with a couple like this is a dream, who will just give you all the time you want. So you should have like crazy good images. Like, that's all I'm saying. So.
Yeah. I think I think we commended some preparation, and I think there's more that could be done in saying like, I want to go on this hike with you at sunset. I want to, like, I don't care if we take a 4-hour break in the middle of the day. Like, this is when I want to take you out. This is where I want to take you.
I'm going to get you guys on that mountain. I'm going to shoot super wide. I'm going to compose you intentionally. Like, I know that like some people might not like the contrived nature of that kind of stuff and might push against the organic vibe too. So maybe, I don't know, maybe not exactly that, but I do just think.
I think that's ultimately why they want you though.
Like, I don't push against it. I think everybody wants beautiful imagery. So that's my opinion. So,
all right, moving on. That was probably really loud. I said that very loud.
I loved it though.
All right. Is this Evan up next?
I think so.
All right. Evan Musgrave from Musgrave Media. Third wedding. Shot on a Canon. Oh, okay. This is interesting. A Canon R5 and a Sony FX3. Both of those are new cams, relatively. So curious why there's the split there. Between brands.
Did your dad buy you these cameras?
Yeah. Some other stuff, drones, whatever. Very run and gun. There's a lot here. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Yeah, we don't need to read the whole thing. I think the day kept running late and pushing back due to the weather, people not being ready on time, and people interrupting photo hour. Photo hour, that must be nice. Eventually yelling at not only me, but the photographer. Okay. One of these.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was not a perfect day, but they had plenty good gear, but it was all mismatched.
He was only there for 4 hours because of price.
Okay.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I already have something to say about that, so let's watch the film.
Yeah. Just say no.
Or say 8 hours and just don't charge them because you need the portfolio at your third wedding. That's freaking nice looking.
Yeah.
Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends with faith in God. Marriage is a joyous occasion. It is reflected in our thoughts with the warmth of home and with the holiest and most tender relations of life. Marriage is the oldest institution known to man, older than church, older than government, older than schools. It is
Hold on. I just want to watch that guy scoot over a little bit.
Relations of life.
Yeah.
Marriage is the oldest institution known to man.
Move, dude.
Older than church.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. I miss you for. Not to make fun of it. It's just funny when maybe don't include that.
Or don't show that.
It's so funny, like when your eyes are trained on wedding films, like every little thing like that sticks out to me on first viewing.
Yeah.
I'm immediately like, oh.
To Jack and Abigail, I wish you the best.
This is weirding me.
Oh my. That mic job
You can't
with
do
white
that.
tape.
You can't do that,
That's
man.
rough, dude. That's rough.
Well, what's funny is like you're having these like vacillating between like these very like, let's just talk over it because I think we got the gist of it. You're vacillating between like this sequence is so beautiful. I do wish she was centered.
Yeah, true.
But it's beautiful, and then you go from this really beautiful shot like to that.
Yeah. So let's just keep watching.
Yeah, I think
Have we done 2 minutes? I don't know.
Yeah, we have. That's why I'm saying we just
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start this time. Things that I love. There are some very, very good looking shots in this. And it's so odd to me because it's juxtaposed with some very, like, just, I don't want to say they look bad, but just like,
I would say some of it looks bad.
yeah, like it's weird to me that there can be such a difference in this. And like, it's still shots that I'm sure the couple love. So like, don't get me wrong here, right? We all get that. But
I wonder if it's like the one camera he was more familiar with or something like that.
It could be. It some of it's not like,
or it's like shot by two different
exposure
people
or whatever. Yeah, maybe. Like okay, I think about like what those first couple
that's
intro
beautiful.
shots. The first shot we saw the groom getting ready. This shot, like there's some really, really good looking, like
that's
you
beautiful
knew what
right
you were
there.
doing. Yeah, and then there's some like just questionable stuff. But so yeah, I think there's some really good looking shots. I don't know that I would say the story is really like doing it for me. I don't know what you had to work with. And admittedly, you know, we only watched about 2 minutes. We might have watched under 2 minutes, to be honest. So we didn't get to a lot of the story.
Oh, yeah. So this is my beef with this film. This crap. This is don't do this stuff. Like I don't care what weird. It's weird. There's so much weird stuff like this.
Yeah.
That I do enough weddings to tell you what brides and grooms want. They don't want this, and if you want someone who's willing to give you more than 4 hours of budget, don't put this stuff in your film.
Yeah.
Because brides who have money don't want to do this crap.
Yep. Let's hop over. So we were kind of doing things we liked and didn't like. Was there anything else you wanted to add as far as things you liked about this film?
I like a few of the good shots. I don't like the editing. I don't like the sensibility of it. There's so much, this is the photo hour. He spent his time doing this stuff with the bridal party. I'm actually really flummoxed by it. So
yeah,
don't do that.
So on the flip side, I'm going to talk about two things. One, that toast shot that needs work. One, get gaff tape that's black. Like, I get it. Sometimes you need to tape a mic. That's going through a sound system. I don't know why you can't plug in. Maybe you did. Maybe you don't know how. Maybe you don't have the equipment for it. That's a good thing to get. So this is your solution. It looks bad. It looks unprofessional. There is no mid-market or high-end bride that's going to see that and think, oh, yeah, I'm fine with that. That's such a good shot.
So good. It's so good.
And then
that's gorgeous. They're just
you can tape. I've taped mics. I do that not as much anymore, but I've certainly done it, and I will still do it. But you can't use white tape. You can't see the mic hanging off. And then so we get past the mic. We say, okay, we're going to solve that solution. Look at the framing when we get up to it. There's this red fire alarm behind them. That's the first thing my eye goes to. There's a plastic water pitcher on the ledge to the left of the mic. Clean that scenario up, change your angle, dictate where you need speeches to be if you need them to change. So that's a big change I would make. And then something I think that's more of a conversation, Jay, is we talk about there's all these weird poses that are so posy and cheesy, and I wouldn't include them in a wedding. Now, the rebuttal to that, right, in most scenarios would be, oh, well, the clients really like it. They really want it, whatever. My rebuttal, though, to that would be, you did this for cheap, to build your portfolio, show the stuff that you want.
You can put, I don't, I care what people, this is my rebuttal to that rebuttal. You're going to get it's the classic show what you want to grow.
Yeah.
So, if you didn't show this type of stuff, you wouldn't be getting a person who wants to do this. You wouldn't. Well,
and the issue is it's going to turn, that is a turnoff for a lot of people. A lot of people do not want that, super cheesy, weird posing. And if this couple's, super into that, then, I get that.
It's no shade to these people.
No, not at all.
Don't care what they want to do.
But I also just kind of feel like they maybe aren't into that, to be honest.
I don't think they're probably into. I think someone posed them. Who Mike's? I've worked with enough people to know. I have never worked with a couple who's been suggesting 20 weird ideas like that. Yeah. Those are always the filmmaker or the photographer suggesting those things.
Exactly, I would agree.
And so
Michael says, though, so Michael DeLuca is saying, isn't there a fine line, though, between whose wedding film it is? The couple paid, so should they get what they want against what the videographer wants? So I think there's two things. One, he brings up one solution to that, which is do an edit that's public for your website, do an edit that's for them. But I think what we're saying is in this, if you're cutting a deal or you're doing it for free or you're doing it for really cheap because you need it for your portfolio, do it for your portfolio. That's the framework then. That's the understanding.
This is my response to Michael on that. And if you're listening to this, yes, do it for your couples. Yes. Wait for them to tell you first because the couple respects your sensibilities. That's why they brought you on. So don't assume that if you hate it, that they will like it. Assume that if you like it, they will like it. That's a far more accurate assumption to make because they hired you based on your tastes. So if you think it's bad and you know the scenario, just give them what you like. And if they come back and tell you like, hey, we want to be pulling each other.
Where's the tug of war shot? That was my favorite.
Put it
pose.
in there. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, I am not advocating for not putting things in that are important to the couple. And maybe they did say that in this film, and maybe there's
definitely stuff we don't know.
But like, if a couple, like, if you're listening to this and you're saying like, it's not a shade to the couple, and I don't really care what they're into. I just don't think that they are into that. I think someone suggested something and they did it. That's what I think. I've worked with enough couples to know, like, I mean, how many people actually have ideas for their posing, Bobby?
The couples?
Yes. Not many.
I don't
Not many. So. They'll be like, the best you're going to get is, there's this mountain over there we want to have, and like stuff like that.
I really like this tree on the venue.
Yeah, they're not like, can we be pulling each other, or can we see? Like, that just doesn't happen that often. So I would agree with you. I just think I would show them something first that matched my sensibilities and wait for them to come back.
Michael's saying, what if the videographer is the one prompting these poses? If so, get new poses.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was. It was the videographer. That's like, how would a couple know to do a shot where there was a closing?
Maybe videographer. I would say more likely photographer.
No way. No way.
You don't think so?
I'm going to show you a shot that will prove my point.
You don't think the tug of war shot is the photographer?
Yeah, I do. But I think this upcoming shot is the filmmaker.
Oh, this is for sure the filmmaker.
And if they wanted to do this, they probably wanted to do 70 shots like this.
I see that a lot. Like, I have never seen a shot like this that I like.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Nope. Anyway.
All right. One last thing to talk about, because I know you want to comment on it. Can you share your thoughts on, they wanted a 5-minute film and 8 hours of coverage, but they didn't have the budget, so I told them I would just do 4 hours of coverage.
Okay. This is actually all related to what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
If it's your third wedding, you need as many chances to get bangers as possible. Sick weddings that are going to help you get your clients. If you don't, then you have less content to work with to make your film, which means you have to do tons of these types of shots.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was me, I would only sell an 8-hour package. I would make it affordable to get the clients that were in my market. And I would just try to build up as many opportunities as possible to get portfolio pieces. I would not be worrying about money as much early in my career. I'd be worrying about telling great stories and making great products that will get me to where I want to be with my budget. So I think you should analyze your structure, because
I think it's tough, because like, I am a proponent of like, stick to your guns and your rates are your rates, and not every couple is going to be.
Just structure it differently.
At this, and especially at this stage, like, if you need the portfolio, and this is a beautiful wedding.
There's a lot of good
parts about it,
and there's enough good shots. If you had more content, I think.
I would have been there for 8 hours.
You could have included less of the things that are subpar.
Like, I don't think you can get ahead of yourself saying like, well, I'm established, I don't need this, when like, you do need that wedding.
You do need it. And like, everyone does what's in their best interest. Even it's not as much as like money is important. We're always, every one of us in this industry are like going like, oh, this is a good opportunity though. Yeah. Or this is a perfect client or whatever. So,
I want to end on a high note though, and say, look, we take the cheesy poses aside, whether that was you, the photographer, whatever, the couple. I think you have we've already said you have some very, very good looking shots in here. Mm-hmm. I think you need to spend the time to figure out, pour through some of the shots that we pointed out, pour through the rest of your shots, and figure out what the difference was. Because if you can find ways to not replicate those shots, but be shooting on that level, or 80-90% of that level 100% of the day, or a good chunk of the day, you're going to elevate your stuff really fast.
Wedding filmmaking, it's important that you have great taste just as much as it's important that you have great shots.
Yeah.
And I think it's the thing that so many people, they fall flat on. And the people who, like, when I see Peyton Frank's work, if you don't know, she's very successful wedding filmmaker. She's a good shooter. She's a good editor. But more than anything, when you watch her work, she has great taste. And that is communicated because we're making like an accessory to the most fashionable day in a girl's life.
Yeah.
So I think just develop your taste, develop your palate, and I think you're going to be great because you have the technical knowledge. Even the editing was fine.
Yeah.
There's, but I would think like the cheesy shots is the other side of the coin of taping something to a mic stand.
Yeah.
It's like not understanding the industry you're in.
That's a good way to put it.
So, great.
Cool. Moving on.
Ooh, Mike.
We've got Mike Zoo from Mike Zoo Films. 7-hour day, hot as hell. Everything was good.
It's been like that.
Lighting was inconsistent. You know what I was just thinking, Jay? I have not had a wedding this year where it was like beautiful and sunny outside, and I was at a venue where I could utilize that. I had one day.
We had just our first sunny day last Saturday.
Yeah,
out of like
what the
10.
Heck? All mine have been cloudy. I had one day that was sunny, but it was like a landlocked, like it's attached to the Mall of America.
Sick.
So like, there's no like we went outside in this like clump
Did you go
of
down
trees
Did you
for
go
a
on
little bit.
the roller coaster?
I literally had like a 3 or 4 hour break, and I ended up taking a nap because it was like an Indian wedding, and I was dead. And it was like a 17-hour day or something.
Yeah.
But I talked with the photographer. We were like, should we go to the like amusement park in our break? But then we were too worn out.
Yeah. No, we've had bad weather, but anyway, moving on. About
I haven't had
Mike.
bad weather. I've been okay. It's just
We've
been
had
cloudy.
like
this
I did a
my
wedding
style.
I did a wedding this year where I was literally in 2 inches of mud during the reception.
Yeah.
Like the couples and everyone is just sinking into mud like it's pouring rain. It was crazy. Anyway.
Okay. All right, Mike Sue.
Yeah, he has a film and he's shooting on what cameras? That's my only question.
I don't think he said. Yeah, it's not included.
So let's just say good films. Good
Right.
cameras. Good cameras.
Hey, legend in the house, Ray Roman. What's up?
What's up, Ray? Keeping it real? Text me back, bro.
하나님이 기뻐하시는 가정 이루기를 바란다.
So if you don't know, these tea ceremonies, multiples of these in various East Asian weddings. And they're, depending on the culture, they can be like a little bit different.
Understanding for each other and take care of each other.
There is so much to celebrate.
A cool looking venue.
How do you feel about the way that he integrated that tea ceremony in the edit?
I would say I think there's some shooting gripes I have, but I don't mind it kind of being its own section. But with that said, I would like to draw somebody in a little bit more.
Yeah,
I don't mind it being in the beginning, but I would
think I would have
start a little
included
differently.
it. Yeah, I agree. I think I would have included it in the rest of the film,
Yeah.
just to smooth it out. But I mean, I do like the respectful nod, and I think the couple.
Yeah, and I think that might be part of it.
Yeah,
like I could see that being part of it.
That's always a challenge when you're like, I don't know where Mike is coming from culturally. I know when I do weddings where I'm working with someone from a different culture, you know, you're always kind of like want to make sure you're respecting what makes them unique.
He's based in New York City.
So anyway,
yeah,
the color grade is kind of interesting to me, even though it's a little green, but
a little green. I have like a lack of like contrast.
Very desaturated,
yeah,
but it is consistent throughout the film.
Yeah, so it's a choice.
It's
I
a
feel
look
like at that point. Yeah,
Their friends and families,
anyway,
their values, their morals, their accomplishments, their day. Kathy is the best investment Jimmy has ever made. And if you've ever met Kathy, it's easy to see why. She's one
I
of the
mean,
most
we get it, and it's
empathetic
actually a very
people
nice
you will
thing,
ever
but
meet,
it's funny in
which
like
is
I kind of out of
exactly what you want in a
context.
friend, let alone a doctor, or in Jimmy's case, a wife.
Huh. Skip it a little bit.
Yeah. That was a cool shot with them in the center there.
I want to see if this ever gets any, if this has a climax.
I feel like my guess is going to be no.
So it's no surprise that your story
could be
leads
wrong.
us here today with someone who you described in your own words. He just makes me feel like home.
Okay. So
he makes me feel like I'm the best investment ever. We tease, but we like it. We like it.
No, it was good. Okay, so what did you like about the film, Bobby?
Okay. I like the respective nod, like you said. I think this this stuff, whether you wanted to, like, this had to exist in the film somewhere. I'm so torn. Like, yeah, should it have been like this intro thing, or should you try to weave it in? Like, in some ways, it's kind of a drier segment.
After I spent some time with the couple too, Bobby, I kind of felt like maybe it was the right call, because after like spending time with them on camera, I was like, they're pretty laid back.
Yeah. I actually think it might have like disrupted the rest of the film to be randomly in there too. So like, I don't know, that might have been a good choice. I think there's some really good coverage. I think there's some interesting shots. There's some definitely, like, there was a shot that we see from the outside. It's when they are in, I believe it's the couple sitting centered in that door, and it's a super wide shot. They're super small in frame. I thought that was really nice. Some of this stuff where it's like people just interacting and you're just running around with the 70-200 and some, some decent couple stuff and whatever. I think that would be.
Here's what I'm going to say.
My thoughts.
I think.
Hey, what's up, Grant?
I think if they had a little more polish on the color grade, it's very sophisticated looking.
Yeah.
It looks editorial. I would also say moments like this, this filmmaker sees like these little things, right? And like, they're not flashy. There's a lot of handheld. I feel a level of uncertainty too with the shooting, like they're kind of lack confidence in their composition.
Like this to me feels like the equivalent of like the photographer that shoots like 15,000 photos at a wedding, and it's like, well, something will turn out.
Yeah, there's a lack of confidence, but honestly, they shouldn't feel that way. They need to trust their gut, because I think they have good instincts, and there's a lot of
a little more decisive will go a long way.
Being decisive, but I think the moments that they are decisive with what they see are very strong. So let's talk about what areas to improve, because I think I could give this person a bunch of tips that will help their films.
So
first,
I have
you start.
Okay, yeah. So I have two things. One, the coloring, to me, again, preference to some extent. I think it could look a lot better with a little more saturation, a little more contrast, and just a little more attention to like the overall hue. Like, I did feel like a lot of stuff was a little green. And it's like, it's small, but I think it makes a big impact in this film specifically.
Well, especially these moments where you're showing like these indoor moments are not the same as these outdoor moments.
Yeah.
Like
and then my other big thing that's just such an easy fix is there's some crash zooms in and out, and I
think in general there was too many micro adjustments.
Yeah.
In their
and I think that goes back to like what we were saying, like, you know what you're doing, and we can clearly see that here, both in shooting and just like being in the wedding environment and what you should capture and what works for the couple, and understanding the couple and their families in the day, and being decisive would rid you of a lot of those micro adjustments and would come across.
I struggle with this too, so I'm gonna say straight up, like, I've learned over the years, just hold the shot. Like, just hold it. If you can elegantly move out of it, but like every moment counts at weddings. So always trying to recompose. The other thing I was gonna say is you're lacking energy in every single thing in the film. It needs some life.
Yeah,
like I
really
get that it's
build-up.
like laid back people, and you're trying to do like a sophisticated style, and like almost like kind of lots of handheld, like very organic, but like it's missing like some. It's not as interesting as it should be. Like if you're gonna be artful, then be really artsy. Like find a like then to heck with like a shot like that. Like don't include stuff like that. Like try to find a way to push yourself to that next level. Figure out what makes you special and what is your unique perspective, and like go for it. Like I'm telling you, like if there's something weird you want to be doing, you should do it and couple it with all this very subdued stuff. Like this is really heartfelt and beautiful, some of these moments, but then I'm wanting it to go somewhere and give me something, and it's just so restrained, and then the film just literally ends. I don't think it had a climax.
Yeah, I mean, we skipped around a little bit, but I also don't think that it did.
Yeah, so good filmmaker. I like where they're headed, and I want them to just believe in themselves, trust themselves a lot more, and push it. Like, push it harder.
Yeah. All right.
How about a couple more? We'll hold these ones even shorter because we've been kind of pushing.
I've gotten signed out, apparently. Hold on.
Signed out? Bobby, we got something coming tomorrow that you might want to tell people about while you're doing that. What are we doing tomorrow?
We have a brand new video dropping tomorrow at a time that is yet to be disclosed.
You could just invent it right now, and I'll do what you said.
Tomorrow, at 12:30 Eastern.
Perfect. That's when we're dropping it.
That's when we're dropping it. And it is a review of the. Oh wait, no, I don't have. It's shooting right now. The Tamron 28-75 with the Sony E mount. I got that lens to begin my wedding season. I wanted to try that out on a main camera. Shot 2 weddings almost exclusively with it, and then have used it here and there in weddings since. So yeah, sharing my thoughts on that lens, and more importantly, first live drop that we will be giving that lens away.
Yes.
So if you want to win an awesome lens,
Sony E mount,
it's really the Tamron's 24-70, let's call it that, for Sony E mount. You can win a free one from us, and instructions will be in the video. And we would love, especially you all who are here right now, the really plugged in from this community, share some love on that film. We're going to try and blow that up and get a bunch of entries, which actually hinders your chances of winning, but we would appreciate it.
Just
so
help us.
Love on
Just
that
don't be
tomorrow.
selfish.
Yeah, come on.
Come on. Just help us, for God's sake.
All right. Up next, we have.
Let's see if this audio works.
Is this from Duet Media?
Yes,
wait.
it does
Can you
work.
show me the title again? Yeah. Samantha and Cole.
Yes, that's what I think it is.
Okay. Yep, it is. Yeah. Okay. So this is I'm gonna butcher this name, Azar Mamadov from Duet Media, and Azir, I think. Azir, my bad. He might be in Minnesota.
Hopefully.
I believe he has responded to me when I've looked for a second shooter sometimes, but that I kind of feel like he might be in like Canada. Anyway,
it could be anywhere.
That's true. So, with that said,
should I just
have a
play
website?
it? I don't know. I know nothing about this man.
The website he gave us is Instagram. His company name is Duet Media. His Instagram is Duet Capital Media. So I'm going to comment right off the bat and say your branding needs some help.
Is there even? I'm looking through this film. Oh, this is a very long film, by the way. We are not going to be watching this whole film.
We will watch 2 minutes tops, and we will based in Ontario.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch the first minute, and we're gonna see, if we would be willing to watch the next 10.
Ooh, I like it.
Okay, we're gonna Instagram this. Like, is it gonna work? Here we go. You ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Whoa, smoke machine. I had a smoke machine at a recent wedding, but you couldn't really see it very well.
I never get a smoke machine.
They need to like do it up.
Samantha, I can still remember the first time I ever seen you. You were in the church 2 rows up from me, and I couldn't help but notice how beautiful you were. You were all dazzled up in your heels, wearing your furry long black coat, and had your hair all...
Okay, we're a minute in. Bobby, would you watch the next 12 minutes of this?
I would keep watching. I can't tell you the last time I watched a 13-minute wedding film, though. So I'm not watching 12 minutes. But like,
my answer is
there's some solid stuff here.
If I was a couple, I probably would watch it. As a filmmaker, I would not watch it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
What made you say yes? This was a very effective intro sequence.
So I think, not that I wouldn't change things about it, but like, it is a hook, right? In the intro, it's upbeat and it wants you to watch more, and it like piques your interest of all parts or multiple parts of the day, I guess I think is the kind of like goal. There's some interesting creative shots. So yeah, and it's just like, I think there are solid shots, and I think that's something that I'm always looking for. Like, I'll tell you for sure, if it's like bad shots, I'm like, this is this person's second wedding. Like, I'm probably just not. Yeah, like I don't really watch wedding films outside of this, though. Like, let's be real. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not a good.
You're a fool, then.
I mean, I watch some.
You should watch all of them.
Every wedding film ever made.
I'm on an algorithm.
I watched the big boys, big boys and girls in the industry, and some local here and there.
Okay, let's what do you want to skip to? What do you want to see more of? Because we got another minute we can watch. What do you want to see in this film?
7 minutes and 34 seconds.
Well, I like this game.
Yeah. Can you do it?
Yes, I can. Man,
hey,
are we the only people that aren't spending so much time with the bridal party?
I'm literally on record telling like every photographer this year, when they're like, and we're gonna do a wedding party, I'll be like, I need like 2 shots.
Is that just because they just ended it and started a new song? Here we go.
Love each other and always talk.
Why? This is odd, man. They're 8 minutes in and they're putting the dress back on.
All the best. I love you both.
Son, I have never been prouder of you.
Well, like, here we are, 9 minutes.
Yeah,
She's out of her dress again.
This is, I will say, like, this is really hard to critique, because it's one thing for like a 4 or 5 minute film and we watch 2 minutes, we skip around and we say, okay, we got the gist of it. But like, we will not get the gist of this film.
I think I can critique this, because
I think there's still stuff we can critique.
I'm scrolling through this and I'm seeing so many, like, okay, this is a sequence at 3 minutes.
And for as long
this sequence,
Michael, I barely have enough footage for like a 7 minute film.
This is a sequence. Like, this is my thing with this, is like, this bride should not continually get in and out of her dress all day. Like you could, this sequence is used, I think 3 or 4 different times at 3 different sequences. So what I know about this film is it's all over the place, and it struggles to have a coherent strategy with what it's doing. So I would say, let's talk about what we like. I really like where they're headed with their color. Like some of it is because they just got lucky and they're in a beautiful place with lots of beautiful contrast in the colors. Yeah. But a lot of it is like they did a good job. Like, I love how that stuff looks. It's kind of like muted greens and stuff with the big red. It's a cool look. And I think they did a really, like, almost everything they're shooting is beautiful and well composed and well lit. And
it's actually crazy to me that in a 13-minute film, like, most shots look really solid.
Really good. This person knows what they're doing. And like this is a good shooter. Yeah. And a pretty good color grade, but in general it was garbage in, garbage out, right? They put good stuff in.
Yep.
What they shot was good, so then it looks good in the edit, and I think I like their look. I like their look a lot, and I like what they're doing with most of their composition. My beef is really with the length of the film. I can't imagine why they had to make this film this long or why they would submit it, because they know I'm going to shred it. And then B.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think we agree on the things we like about it.
The storytelling needs work.
Let's move over. Yeah, so is there anything else that you want to add as far as the things that you think could be improved on?
Yeah. The amount of times I saw this person's cameras.
Oh my gosh, that's my first thing too.
Look at that, right? Look at that drone shot.
I can't open with that drone shot. There's 2 issues, and part of it is like it's always like it is always the filmmaker's problem, right? But the like parking lot is rough. But even if you stopped right here before we see the parking lot, we see all your cameras. That is not a time to fly the drone.
I'm going to count how many shots are in this intro.
Okay. And how many shots of a camera?
Yeah, 1. So this is 7 seconds for that drone shot.
Yeah, that's 2.
2
with a camera.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's another one coming up too, right here. And then like again and again. It's like, I don't know. Like
that's 4 shots with the camera in the intro.
And I think it's a function of this person, like one negative with the style of filmmaking they like, which is like this high drama style. And I don't like the song for this couple at all, by the way. I probably wouldn't have used this song.
Yeah, I don't think it fits.
But regardless, this person's clearly kind of trying to do that Ray Roman high drama thing, right? When you do that, you have to be so much more mindful to your environment.
Yeah.
You can't be like shooting your cameras all the time. You can't like.
Well, he's shooting like all angles at all times. Like this is someone who probably walks away with a wedding with like a terabyte and a half.
Yes. I think you gotta like simplify your approach a little bit and pick your spots, and like you don't always have to spin in a circle. You can just do 20-degree like parallax.
Yeah.
Like you don't always need a 360. You don't always need to like. And also, I just have a fundamental gripe with this camera positioning in general. Like, I think that's not friendly to your other vendors when you're away from the camera flying a drone and then you just plop your tripod and your monopod in the middle.
I mean, I definitely have an issue with that center cam.
That's what I mean.
I think, that center cam, and it's a monopod. I wouldn't leave that while I go fly a drone. I don't really have an issue with the outside cameras.
No, they're okay.
Yeah,
they're fine.
That center cam is, if I were a photographer, I would never refer you based on that probably.
Well, it's basically like and you can't even move it because you're preoccupied flying the drone.
Yeah, I guess that's.
And that person's like, well, I need to get a shot. Oh well, I'm doing my drone, and I also plopped my thing in there. It's like, what is it with people in not using wide shots?
I love wide shots.
That's like the pro shot. I'm telling you guys, you want to like, you need tight stuff, you need mids, but like all the best people shoot incredible wides, and they don't treat that crap like a throwaway. Like I would never call it my safety shot. That just
I do sometimes.
It indicates it's crap.
I'll usually have a safety shot, like for something I need to deliver in full, right? A first dance, let's say. I'll have a safety shot that's a wide that just gets the whole dance floor. No matter what, I can always go back to that shot if they're getting the full edit of their first dance.
But don't you try to make it good?
Yeah, I mean, I make it solid. It's not bad. It's just kind of coverage. But then I'll also usually have a wide shot that's a lot more intentional. That's like, if they ever get to this point in the dance floor, it's going to be this really cool framing, and that's the section I want to use, or something like that.
I think like treating wide shots like the crap shots is a huge trap people fall into. And
I think it's an easy trap to fall into too.
Yeah, but like these are the money shots so often.
Yeah.
Like and trust me, like it will set you apart if your wides are beautiful and if all your cameras are in all your shots.
Yeah.
Like
really well composed, really well, exposed.
Anyway,
that's some of that stuff we really like.
Obviously, we didn't watch the full film, so we're not able to fully give you a critique on your storytelling. I will say the one thing I didn't like about the story was just all the jumping around and like weird stuff. But I will say also, I bet this would be a banger at 4 minutes.
Oh my gosh! Like what a plethora of shots to choose from.
Show me that film.
Yeah.
That's a moneymaker. That's a moneymaker.
Michael DeLuca with the generous donation, saying, learned a lot from you guys and the Wedding Film School channel over the years. So just want to say thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you, my friend. It means so much. It does. That we do spend money on this too, guys, which is true. We love doing that. So we're not begging for money or whatever, but it's always great when people support us. So it means a lot. Bobby, you want to do one more or you want to call it a day?
Well, I do have to go check on some cameras that I am recording a 6+ month time lapse on 7 different cameras.
Did you make sure
and
that
it has
you're
been
all in
an
your
ordeal, and I need to check on them once a week at least. And it's a whole thing, so I might call it a day just because I gotta go.
Yeah, we did 4 films. So just as we're on the way out the door, guys, drop a like. We're so appreciative of you guys. If you haven't checked out our podcast or our podcast channel, the Wedding Film School Show, you can do that. Head over there. And in general, guys, super grateful for you. Hopefully you're learning a lot, and hopefully you're enjoyable.
And tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, Tamron 28 to 75 review, and the instructions in that video on how you can enter to win the Tamron 28 to 75 that we are giving away.
Yeah. So without further ado, we would like to say good day to you.
Without further ado, we bid you adieu.
We bid you farewell. Bye, guys.
All right, see you guys.
All right, dude. Bye.